What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to Blazers Uprise Live. Today, we should have a pretty fun stream because we're going to break down that 4-team trade that went down yesterday. We touched on it on the post-game stream a little bit, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth and give our opinions on what each team did in this trade because there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of moving players. You got a 4-team trade, so a lot of different perspectives to look at this deal from. I'm excited to get into that. Other than that, we got picks against the spread, which we'll hop into in a second, and we'll also maybe preview this Indiana Pacer game a little bit. I generally want to keep the stream to like 45 minutes today, so we're going to try and pack all that in. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. Thank you for tuning in as always. So let's jump into picks against the spread once we got all our mods in here. I don't want to shoot the gun. So we got Westbrook. He was first. And then we're just waiting on Reese and Trevin. If you guys are here, let us know and we can get rolling. We can get rolling into picks against the spread. Ben, that is not the deal. The deal was by the end of Friday, if I got 1,000 subs on this channel, I'd wear one. But no, people didn't step up, man. I gained like 5. So apparently nobody wants to see that, which I don't blame them. We got Reese, and we just gotta make sure we got Trevin in here, and we'll be good to go. What's up, Darren? Bryce says, "How do you apply for mod?" There is not a mod spot currently open. I've had multiple people ask me about that. We're pretty good as is with Reese, Westbrook, and Trevin. So I'm not taking mod spots or anything. Appreciate your interest maybe in the future, but right now we don't need more than 3. And we got Trevin. All right, let's jump into picks against the spread. These were our records yesterday and our updated standings. Me and Eric are tied up top at 19-16. Chat is 17-18. Reese, Trevin, and Westbrook are 11-24 and 10-25 for the last 2. Last Monday was not a good day for any of us. Westbrook did best at 3-5. Eric went 1-7. Chat went 1-7. Double downs have also not been favorable to us, surprisingly. Eric's the only one split in 500 there. We still have one more day to add that we don't have double down records for, so we'll probably maybe next stream have that.
Trevin was 1-7 too. That's not right on there.
Well, was Trevin really 1-7? Oh yeah, Trevin was 1-7. Here, just for OCD purposes and to not give Trevin more credit than he deserves. 1-7. Boom. Control save. Oh, I thought it'd update on here. That was a little experiment, by the way. Oh, I don't know. It won't update. But yeah, Trevin was 1-7, I guess, too. Yeah, you did say all 3 you were 1-7. So basically Monday sucked. Flat out, simple. Let's hope today goes better. We got 5 games. There have been games postponed almost every day the past week, so it is whittling down our games. The first game we got is Philadelphia versus Miami. Philadelphia playing at home. They're 8-4. This is a 10.5 point spread. I assume Miami is missing a couple players. That's why the spread is so high.
I think they have COVID issues.
Yeah. So it's hard to pick games this year because of how many, random players you have out. It looks like Harkless is out, Haslam is out, Nunn is out, Kapala is out, and Myers Leonard just day to day. Meanwhile, the Sixers have Curry out, Korkmaz out, Tobias Harris is out, Matisse Thybulle is out. So I don't see anything about Jimmy Butler missing time. I don't see anything about Bam being out. Therefore, this spread I think is way too high, and I'm going to roll with the Miami Heat.
Yep, there's a lot of big spreads today, and I'm just going to take the underdog in most of them, so I'm taking the Heat too.
All right. Trevin has Miami, Reese has Miami, Westbrook has Philly. Miami, and then chat. We got Westbrook back to count.
Trevin is Heat.
Jimmy, Bam, and Dragic are all out. ESPN, man, get your stuff together. Because I was just looking off ESPN. In that case, I'm rolling with Philadelphia instead.
Oh, you're doing the change your pick in the middle of it.
Well, I was looking at ESPN, and they didn't have any of those guys, so I guess I can't look at ESPN for injury information. Even without them went to overtime. Yeah, but Philly's been playing well. I don't know. But Philly's missing Tobias and...
Curry's out as well.
And Curry's out. Screw it. I won't change it. Okay, how about that, Eric? I won't change it. There you go.
Okay, you can do whatever you want.
There you go. Chat, what do we got for chat? Do we have a vote total for chat yet? 6 for 4 for Miami. If we don't have enough people voting, we can just cut it off a little early if you feel like it.
There, we got some people voting now. Just don't vote twice, Belgian Blazer. No, you cannot. All right, so Miami 8-7.
Alrighty, so they're going with the Heat as well. Tough game to pick with...
Wait, so you're sticking with Miami now?
I'm sticking with Miami because Tobias is out. But who knows? Maybe he's playing since ESPN isn't accurate. I'm going to need Reese with the injuries on all these games, man. That's Reese's thing. Second game we got Toronto against Charlotte. Toronto is an 8.5 point favorite here. This game is being played in Toronto at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. What is the situation with this? Who's missing time, Reese? I wish there was something I could easily check. Is there a good website to check injuries?
A lot of the fantasy sites like Roto World, if you just click on the depth chart of the teams, they have the little
Okay, that's what I'll do. Yeah, because just with how, like, you know, obviously the COVID issues and all that, it's kind of hard to pick without knowing. So I will pull it up here. I'm curious who Charlotte is potentially missing.
I know Gordon Hayward hurt his
Is
hip
doubtful.
The third quarter of last game. But...
I'm gonna take the Raptors here.
Okay.
8.5 point favorite. I'll take the Raptors still. I think they're playing better basketball.
Yep. I'm just gonna pick this way most of my picks today and take that 8.5 points because I have no idea.
Yeah, pretty safe. Mods. Trevin has Hornets. Chet has Hornets. Westbrook is rolling with me with the Raptors, and Reese is rolling with Charlotte.
Who did Trevin pick?
He picked Charlotte.
Okay.
So we got 4 for Charlotte, 2 for Toronto. A lot of these games are hard to pick because you have multiple players missing from both sides. And it's still, you know, a little early in the season to really have a true feel for some of these teams like Toronto, who's 2-8, but I think they're much better than a 2-8 team. So moving on to game number 3, we got the Spurs versus the Rockets. The Spurs at 6-5, the Rockets at 3-6. The Spurs are 7-point favorites. The Rockets shouldn't have Oladipo playing, I assume. I don't know if let me check the Spurs, see if they're missing anybody. You got Derek White hurt. That's about it for all their notable players. DeMar DeRozan will play. He missed the last 2 games due to personal reasons. And then you shouldn't have Oladipo playing for the Rockets. Of course, Oladipo got traded there yesterday. Usually players won't play the day afterwards. They do have Eric Gordon out. They also waived Bruno Caboclo.
Thomas Oransky.
What's up?
He'll, I guarantee he wants us to pick him up. That's his guy.
John Wall is out, I think. It says on the depth chart that he's out. So, is he out, Reese? Double check that. Either way, I'm taking the Spurs in this one. I like the way they've been playing. Actually, I don't know if I want to take the Spurs. Because here's my thinking on this one. Houston, James Harden gets traded. I feel like they're gonna come out with some intensity in this game tonight. Now James Harden is gone. Just depends on if John Wall's out. Let me check here. John Wall has been ruled out for Thursday's game. Okay, in that case, I'm gonna take the Spurs. If John Wall was playing, I'd take the Rockets, but since John Wall is out, I'm going to take the Spurs in this one. You got Trevin Spurs, Chat Spurs, Westbrook Houston.
All right, and I'm going to just take the points again and take the Rockets.
All right, and Reese is going with?
Rockets as well.
All right. So split vote here, 3 for the Spurs, 3 for the Rockets. Should hopefully... I like split votes because you won't have everybody sucking or everybody doing well.
Trevin took the Spurs, is that right? Okay.
That's what I read.
I know, I just got to put it in the right spot. Almost messed that up.
All right. Fourth game we got Denver versus Golden State. The white didn't look good on Golden State's logo, so I just made it their color blue. But you got Denver favored by 5. Let me check the injury situation in this game. Reese, if you have the information, feel free to share it if you want. But
Reese took the Spurs as well in that last game. My bad.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, you out here lying to me, man.
I think I messed that up, yeah.
All right, so there we go. That is up to date. Now we got Denver versus Golden State. I actually just went to the injury report. You got no notable injuries that are new for Golden State. And then for the Nuggets, you have Michael Porter Jr. still out and Gary Harris is questionable due to personal reasons. So I am going to... I don't know. I'm not picking first. I picked first every one this one, so I'll pick last on this one.
I am taking the points and taking the Warriors.
You're going to do that for every game, huh?
All but one.
Oh, yeah, you're going to take the Blazers, which I don't think you've bet against them at all this season, so. All right, what we got for mods? Let me see here. We got Trevin going Warriors, Reese going Warriors. Westbrook is in the process of counting, most likely. I'm going to take the Nuggets. All
right. Looks like chat's 8-7 Denver. And Westbrook is going Nuggets too. So split vote there.
Another split vote. And now the last game. I assume I know what everybody else is going to vote in this one. I will pick last or pick in the middle. I'll wait for the mods and for Eric all to say Blazers.
Yeah, so
who you going with?
So just so everyone knows, TJ Warren's out, Jeremy Lamb's out, and LeVert is not playing. So yeah.
So
I'm going Blazers.
All right. You still got Malcolm Brogdon. You still got Sabonis. You still got Miles Turner. Still got some players there. Is Indiana also on the second night of a back-to-back, or is it just us?
No, this is our third game in 4 nights, but it's also their third game in 4 nights, but they had yesterday off. Their back-to-back was Monday, Tuesday. I
can already tell chat's going with the Blazers.
There was a few amount of 12-3. All right.
Yeah.
Chat is
Trevin's going Blazers. We gonna get a repeat of the Raptors game, where I was the only one who didn't go Blazers and I won because they only won by one. We gonna get a repeat of that?
It's a little harder to win with a 3-point spread. That's more of a pick 'em. Although it would have won that game if it was 3, but yeah.
Also, I don't care that they've won 4 straight. The Pacers are a good team, well-coached team. You still got some players there. I don't know, man. I'm still making up my mind on that one. But
Westbrook went with the Pacers. Yeah.
All right.
Reese picked Portland.
I don't know. This is the second night of back-to-back for Portland. You got a well-coached team in Indiana. But we've always generally had their number. Ugh, fuck. I don't know. I don't know what I want, man.
For the record, this is the chat's double down.
Yeah. Let me go to Indiana's depth chart. I just feel like there's a player that I'm forgetting that they have that might sway things here. Depth charts. Let's go to Indiana. Yeah, you got Malcolm Brogdon, Karis. LeVert doesn't have an injury designation.
Oh, he's not injured.
Yeah, but Victor Oladipo did. I guess Victor Oladipo might be injured. Screw it. I'm not. This is the first one of the season. All right, heads. I'm going Blazers. All right, I'm going Blazers. There we go. I couldn't make up my mind on that one. So here are the picks for today. You got Westbrook out on an island with Philadelphia in the first game. Everybody else going Miami. You got me and Westbrook going Raptors. Everybody's going Charlotte. Eric and Westbrook are going Rockets. Everybody else is going Spurs. Me, Westbrook, Chat are going Nuggets. Eric, Reese, and Trevin are going Warriors. And then Westbrook is going Pacers. Everybody else is going Blazers. So Westbrook is pretty out on an island with some of these picks. So either he's going to gain a lot of ground or he might lose a lot of ground. Double down wise, I am going to go with... I don't know, man. No, I don't want to double down on any of these games.
Westbrook is doubling down on Houston.
Okay, Westbrook is going to double down on the Rockets there.
Chat's Blazers. That was the biggest vote differential. Right. I'm going to double down on the Warriors. I just have a good feeling about them tonight.
Okay.
Thanks, Dave. What's up, man?
I don't know what I want to double down on. Because I'm tempted to double down on the Spurs here. I'm also tempted to double down on Miami. I'm gonna double down on the Spurs. So Westbrook is doubling down on the Rockets. I'm doubling down on the Spurs. That's a big swing there between us two.
But he's in last place, so.
Yeah. I was just saying, he could gain solid 2 games in one.
Yeah, so Trevin's going with Spurs with you.
Alright. I'll create a section with, double down picks. Or I'll try to. And that'd actually be hard. I might in the future, because it'd be cool to, have a graphic for it.
You could just have, a ×2 logo over the team logo that you replace that one with or something. I don't know how hard that would be.
No, I could do that. I don't know. I'll figure something out. So are we waiting on anybody's double down? Who's Reese doubling down on?
Reese is doubling down on the Warriors with me.
Okay, so that is all our double downs, correct?
Yep.
All right, that wraps up picks against the spread. We'll see how we do today. This first game, Philadelphia versus Miami, is tipping off right now. You got Toronto, Charlotte, and San Antonio, Houston at 4:30, and then Denver, Golden State, and Portland versus Indiana at 7. So that is the slate today. Yesterday, you had a blockbuster trade that finally happened. It's been talked about for a while. James Harden to Brooklyn. I didn't think Brooklyn had the pieces to make it happen, but they ended up being able to pull it off. So props to them, I guess. I didn't expect Houston to. I don't know. Houston got a good amount out of it. Just Brooklyn had to make it a multi-team trade and trade LeVert to Indiana and Jared Allen to Houston in order to get the picks that. Jared Allen to Cleveland in order to get the picks that Houston wanted. So you have Houston getting 4 first-round picks and 4 pick swaps, which is actually kind of insane. I need to... Do you have the trade details, or should I pull them up here?
Yeah, I think it's 22, 24, 26 for the first-round picks from from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And 21, 23, 25, 27 are the pick swaps.
And then they also get the Bucks 2022 first round pick,
which is unprotected.
Cleveland is sending Dante Exum in that Milwaukee Bucks 2022 first round pick to Houston, and they're getting back Jared Allen from the Nets. So that is one of the kind of little quirks of it. The Cavs are in this trade. You have. So did the Pacers simply give up Oladipo for LeVert straight up?
They got a second round pick too.
Okay. Let's actually start with the Pacers.
I kind of want to double screen up there. Just.
Oh yeah. I kind of want to start with the Pacers.
All right.
We can get to the Nets. We kind of talked about the Nets a little bit yesterday. How do you feel about this trade for the Pacers? What would you grade it? Maybe, I don't know. You don't have to grade it, but like, just what are your general feelings about this trade for them?
I actually like it a lot for them because based off some of the offseason stuff with Oladipo, came out that he was kind of being a pain in the locker room, told a lot of other teams. He denied this, but teammates were saying it was true. So, but like he was telling other teams to come get him and stuff like that. I think it was pretty clear that he wasn't going to re-sign with them. So to get a guy like Karis LeVert, who's a couple years younger and is on a much more reasonable contract than you would have to pay Oladipo, and can do a lot of the same things. Obviously, as the defender, Oladipo is when he's healthy, but Oladipo hasn't really been healthy for 2 years. But LeVert also has some injury questions. But like I said, you get him at a much more reasonable contract. I think it's like $18 million or so a year for the next couple of years after this one. Whereas Oladipo is going to be making a lot more than that if he performs well, or he's going to think he's worth more than that. So I like this from the Pacers, and I like how LeVert fits in with Brogdon, because Brogdon's I really like Brogdon a lot, but he's not like a true point guard. He's better with like a guy like Giannis or someone like that, where you have like a playmaker and he's more of a shooter than the setting up the offense and stuff like that. So I think LeVert can slide in and be a little better fit on the offense with the personnel they have.
I don't like the fit as much as you do. That's what you have Sabonis for. Because you got Sabonis getting how many assists a game? Let me look it up. Sabonis and Brogdon are kind of like, Sabonis is getting 6 a game. Brogdon is getting, right now he's getting 7.5 assists per game. I would say.
That's pretty good, yeah.
I think Brogdon is more of a true point guard than you do. You bring in LeVert, who isn't a good defender. He's a below average defender. He's injury prone. So, like, he has some of the same injury issues that Victor Oladipo does, but he's also not the defender Victor Oladipo does. He's a career 33.9% three-point shooter right now this season. He's shooting 34.9%. You're talking about a guy who's not a good shooter, not a good defender, has injury issues, but like he's a really good playmaker for a 6'6" like wing, right? So that's kind of the one major selling point. But I don't think you need that playmaking all that much when you have Sabonis and you have Brogdon. And then I don't know, like he's not an efficient scorer. For his career, his true shooting percentage 52%. That's below average. This year he's 51.6%. That's below, that's below his career average. He's not an efficient scorer, but he takes a lot of shots. He's kind of like a ball dominant player where if you're running a lot of stuff through your center and running a lot of action off that, I don't know quite how he fits in. So he's a talented player. I'm not saying I dislike it necessarily, because Oladipo, let me just see what he was doing for him this season. But you had the issues this past offseason with him. He was shooting 36 from 3, 42% from the field. He wasn't too efficient either, but I don't know. Like, he can defend. I wouldn't say he's necessarily more injury prone than LeVert. They both have their injury issues. Oladipo's a better defender. He's shooting a little better this year for his career. He's a little better shooter. And Oladipo was getting 20 points per game and 4 assists as well. So you're talking about a playmaking bump that you don't necessarily need. I don't know. It's a lateral move for me. I don't dislike it. LeVert is younger, a little better contract, so there are some positives, but I wouldn't say that I like it per se.
Yeah, the thing about Sabonis and Brogdon, they're both good passers, but they're not like Sabonis does his passing more like a Nurkic would versus like someone who brings the ball up the court and runs the offense, if that makes sense. And Brogdon gets a lot of assists because he does make the extra pass. They've been having to use him more as a playmaker this year than they have in the past, and he's actually done fairly well in that role. I just think, like, team-wise, if you have a lot of good passers in a lineup, I think you can really take advantage of that. And not that Oladipo was a terrible passer either, but just didn't seem to fit in as well as I think LeVert like personality-wise with the rest of the team.
Yeah, Indiana is currently 7th in the league in assists, so they do have a pretty good assist number. Portland is actually out of the bottom 5 for once. They're actually 25th, and of course 26th to 30th is the bottom 5. But yeah, I don't know. Like, yes, he's a little better passer, but it's not really something that's needed as much as maybe a good defender. Because, like, Brogdon's solid, but Sabonis is probably a little below average. You do have Miles Turner, so you do have, like, they're not a bad defensive team, but I feel like the defensive end of the floor is more of a priority and a 2-guard for them than a guy that can get, 6 assists per game instead of 4. So obviously, like, getting a better passer is a positive, and getting a guy who maybe wants to be there where Oladipo maybe didn't is a positive. There's definitely positive aspects to this. There's definitely some things that stop me from straight up liking the move in general. It'll be interesting to see how LeVert functions there. Everybody's saying, oh, he's going to break out, but he's been the same player for the past, like, few years. I don't really see a breakout on the horizon. You're talking about a guy who's 26 years old. I don't see that coming. Hopefully he can be healthier than he has been in past seasons. Last year, LeVert only played 45 games. The year before, he only played 40. He was injury prone in college when he played for the University of Michigan. So hopefully he can have better health this year. This year, he's averaging 18.5 points per game, 6 assists, and 27.8 minutes per game. So statistically, that's impressive, but I don't know. Per 36, he's averaging 24 and 8. So I guess that's impressive.
While not being anywhere near the top of the focus of that offense.
Well, that could be beneficial for him too. He's also playing against bench lineups a bit more, so he's not going up against the same competition he would in a starting lineup, because he was being brought up off the bench. I would just rather them go, like, they need a guy that can knock down threes a little better and play better defense there. Like, if he could do both of those at a better clip, I would love this trade for them. That's just, those two areas of his game give me pause in how he fits. So that is my opinion on them.
As Reese points out, thanks, Reese, the games that Durant hasn't played this season, LeVert is averaging 29, 6, and 6.
Okay. Well, I don't expect him to average 29, 6, and 6. So you're talking about a very small sample there.
Yeah, the thing about the injuries, though, like, LeVert has had some serious injuries, but I feel like it's affected Oladipo a little more than LeVert's injuries. It's just a matter of him staying healthy or not, whereas there's actually legitimate concerns on Oladipo's long term, like if he'll ever regain some of the magic he had from his most improved season.
I mean, he was not at that level, but he was close. He wasn't playing bad this year, and that's the thing. Like, Oladipo wasn't playing bad. Oladipo was playing good basketball, man. He was getting 20-4 and playing good defense, like, and shooting 36 from three. And you only expect that to maybe even improve a little bit, since he had only played 19 games the year before, and 36 the year before. So if he was able to be healthy, maybe that improved. So I don't know. It's just if they kept Oladipo and made this happen, I would absolutely love it. But with trading Oladipo away, I think you're kind of rearranging some of the question marks there.
But at the same time, you're locking someone up for 3 years versus Oladipo being gone. And also, Oladipo has not been the same defender since he came back from an injury. I think LeVert and Oladipo are pretty similar defenders now that Oladipo doesn't move.
You think Oladipo's been below average?
He has not been good this year now on the defensive end.
I mean, I don't believe that, but
he just isn't moving the same, yeah.
Yeah, like I could see that happening, but he was a great defender before, so that's a pretty drastic fall if he's at LeVert level, And here's the thing, like I could go look at defensive stats, but defensive stats are very noisy, so it's hard to even like base it. You'd have to go talk to an Indiana Pacers fan on that one, but reputation wise, Oladipo's a better defender. So I don't know. Like I don't dislike this trade. There are definitely some positives. There's just some question marks I have in regards to it. Let's move on and talk about... let's touch on Cleveland really quick. I love what Cleveland did trading Milwaukee's 2022 first and Dante Exum for Jared Allen, because I think Jared Allen is kind of their long-term center now. They do have Andre Drummond there, but I don't think Andre Drummond really fits their timeline with like Colin Sexton, Darius Garland. You needed a good rim protector for those two guys if you're going to keep playing them in the backcourt together, because it's not a good defensive backcourt and it's even more undersized than ours, so you needed a good rim protector, and Jared Allen is that. You're talking about a guy who is, let me look him up here. He's still only 22 years old.
He's had some monster games lately, too. That's going to hurt Brooklyn, I think.
He's averaging 11 points per game and 10 rebounds per game in only 27 minutes. He's getting 1.6 blocks per game, and he still has room for growth, being only 22 years old. So I think he's kind of their long-term center. Being able to get him for what is likely going to be, assuming Giannis doesn't get traded or something, that's likely going to be an end of the first sort of pick, and a guy in Dante Exum who is kind of worthless in my opinion. Dante
salary
Exum
filler, yeah.
Yeah, Dante Exum this year was shooting 38% from the field and 18% from three. Like that guy is pretty worthless. So overall, I love this trade for Cleveland.
Yeah, I really like it a lot. We'll get to this in a minute with Houston, but like, I don't know how Houston didn't come away with Jared Allen in this trade, or why they wouldn't have wanted him. I thought he would have been a nice 1-2 punch with Christian Wood. And so for someone like him to be attained for, like you said, what's going to be a late first round pick and salary filler. I know they had to take on Prince's contract too, but I mean, that's not really significant in this breakdown. I don't think a team like the Cavs can eat that salary and not really have to worry about it. And they can look to move on from some of their centers, maybe get some more pieces from trading some of those guys. Their roster is definitely weird right now, but if you just look at it in a vacuum, I think they absolutely were the number one team in this trade.
Yep. And then you have Houston. Like, they got the picks back. They got a good pick haul for James Harden. Some of those Nets picks, though, like, I don't expect them to be that good. And then you're talking about pick swaps that likely aren't going to happen. So, actually, like, in terms of the number of picks, I like it, but you're talking about a lot of likely late firsts, and that's all they got. and they got Oladipo too. Like I don't like that from Houston's end. I would have rather them have gotten Jared Allen, and not the Milwaukee Bucks first. I think they messed up by not taking back Jared Allen and taking back that Milwaukee first instead. I think that was a mistake. Jared Allen and Christian Wood would be an interesting front court together. Christian Wood can play the four. They're both pretty young. I think that LeVert would have been a better pickup for them than Oladipo. He would have fit their age timeline a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And you have, I don't think John Wall is like the future there, where LeVert, I could see him around in like 4 years, potentially. While Oladipo, I don't see him around in 4 years either. So I don't know what the logic was in taking on Oladipo instead of LeVert. Maybe they didn't want to commit to that contract for LeVert, but that's not a terrible contract. I don't know. So some of the logic for Houston in this deal is weird. The more I think about it, the more I dislike it for them. But if they couldn't get something better than this, then you can't really fault them for it.
Yeah, so it came out yesterday morning that the Nets were offering it was unclear whether it was 4 first and 3 pick swaps or 3 first and 4 pick swaps. But I was thinking, if I'm Houston, like, you gotta pretty much immediately accept that, considering I knew LeVert would have had to have been, like, for salary wise, one of the players in that deal. And then, so my thought was the fact that they hadn't accepted it yet, where they were trying to use that offer as leverage to try and get more out of Philly, and it seems like they weren't willing to budge on Simmons, Thibault, Maxey, and at least 1 or 2 firsts, which is crazy. So that Philly backed out, I guess. And so the fact that they accepted that trade means that that rumor was legit. So I actually like the pick part of it. I don't know really what they're doing, because like if you would have told me that they were getting all those picks, minus the Milwaukee one, and LeVert and Allen, I thought that would be much better for them. So I like the fact that they got all those picks, but the problem is they owe a lot of their own picks in pick swaps and future picks as well. So it's going to be hard for them to just fully tank or go down, and I think that's why they got Oladipo, because they can't just tank and lose their pick and then get like a late 20s pick from the Nets, or possibly like the 30th pick.
I mean, the smart move would have been to try and leverage Jared Allen and LeVert to one of the teams that they owe a pick swap to, or one of their future picks to try and recoup maybe one of their future picks, so that then they could be more comfortable in tanking, which is kind of the route they need to go, but it doesn't really work without having those picks. That would have been a better route than what they did. Now, they might have tried to have done that, and it might not have worked. But that is definitely what they should have tried to do in the first place. I don't know if they tried or not. But they did put themselves in a bad position trading some of those picks. They still got some talent on that team with Oladipo, John Wall. That's kind of a weird fit in the backcourt, because neither are like that great of shooters. But you got Christian Wood there, who's playing insane. I told everybody this dude is that talented, and small sample size last year, but you could tell just by watching him that he was like a legitimate fringe all-star level player, and he's playing like that right now. He's averaging like 23 and 9. So they still got him. You got DeMarcus Cousins there. I mean, you still got some players. I don't expect them to make the playoffs now, but you still got some pieces and some players there in Houston.
Yeah, so the only thing I'll say about the Nets picks is all the big three now, Kyrie, Harden, and Durant, can all be free agents after next season. So it's possible. I wouldn't be willing, if I'm Brooklyn, I wouldn't be willing to bet that all 3 of those guys are stable enough to stay. So yeah. There is a possibility where all 3 of those guys leave after next season, and some of those later picks end up being like what the Celtics got from the Nets when they traded them Pierce and Garnett and got all those picks. So yeah, this could be, if you look back on it and they don't win a championship and those guys leave after a season and a half, and then all those picks become like really high in the draft if they're unprotected and all those swaps and stuff, like that could could look very similar to a Billy King type trade.
Yep. Yeah, I had an ad play for 2 seconds and it said like it's school. I don't understand that. But yeah, so I don't know. Like they got what they could get. You can't really fault them for the package because they definitely were diligent in trying to get the best return possible. So to me, they probably did everything they could try and do to get a good package back.
And with the way Harden was acting, it kind of, I'm surprised they actually got the full package from someone because like he was really tanking his value between his weight issues, his attitude, his not showing up for stuff, his comments after their last game, all that kind of stuff. So the fact that they still got as much value as you can get when you trade a star is pretty good on their part, I think.
Yep. And then you have the Nets, who are now the favorite in the East. Like, they're definitely the favorite in the East now. It'll be interesting to see how James Harden's style of play functions next to Kyrie and KD. He hasn't played with us, like, he hasn't played with somebody as good as Kyrie, let alone Kevin Durant, in a while. Since he was in OKC, probably. Because, I mean, Chris Paul, Dwight Howard, back in the day, like Russell Westbrook, none of those guys were like even Kyrie's level, in my opinion. Maybe Chris Paul, but Kyrie, when he plays, when he's talented, you just have all these question marks. It sounds like reports are saying Kyrie is dedicated to making it work with James Harden or something, but and Kyrie is missing games because he doesn't want to play. Like, you have all this stuff about Kyrie, so I don't know. Like, obviously, it's a major talent upgrade, and now they got two of the top 8 players in the league with Harden and KD. You got the Lakers with 2 of the top 8 players. You got the Nets with 2 of the top 8 players. I still think Dame. I still think Dame is a top 8 player. I still think he's the 8th best player in the league. So at least we got one of the guys. But yeah, you got 2 of those guys, and then you got Kyrie on top of it. It's going to be interesting to see how it works on the offensive end and how like everything kind of meshes together with those 3 guys specifically.
Yeah, and I do understand going for it all. I have no idea how that's going to look on the floor. I mean, Durant's game kind of fits with anyone, so I'm not worried there. I'm more worried about Kyrie and Harden playing together. That seems like a really strange fit. But, I mean, if Kyrie was, like, fine being a spot-up shooter, I mean, his efficiency and numbers could really improve with Harden getting in better shots. I just don't know if he has the type of ego that will allow that to happen. And this is either going to result in one of the better teams we've seen in a while, or it could just, like, go up in flames and be a complete dumpster fire. And Houston's going to be so glad they got all those picks, but I don't really see it working out like anywhere, just like kind of middle of the road. It's either going to be a complete success or a dumpster fire, I think.
Yep. So is there anything else you want to touch on with this trade? I'm pretty much giving all my thoughts on it.
No, you look at it, and from the Blazers' point of view, there's no way we should have even been in the conversation. We would have had to give up CJ along with at least 2 or 3 other good players and like basically 7 first-round picks. Like, there's no way that was worth doing. I was kind of on the fence on whether I wanted to pursue him or not. Like, I wouldn't have been like completely against it, like I think you were at one point, but when I saw the package for him, I was like, yeah, there's no way we should have even thought about doing that.
We wouldn't have had to give up that much because Houston only got back Oladipo player-wise. That's the only player. They got Exum, which they probably don't care about. They didn't get anybody up back they cared about other than Oladipo. And I'd say CJ McCollum is more valuable than him, so it would have been like we would have had to give up CJ in like five picks, which I wouldn't do. I'm just saying.
The problem is making the salary work under our salary situation with the hard cap and stuff. We would have to give up a lot more than CJ from that point of view. Not just, and like everyone you plug in to give up is someone adds to the value of it, not detracts from the value, in my opinion. So,
Yeah, I just wouldn't count like Cantor Collins as like a good player per se, but that's just splitting hairs. Obviously, I still value Collins as like a long term piece, but overall, yeah, it wouldn't have. It would have been CJ and then a couple guys to get the salary close enough, and then like 5 future firsts, and I just would not have touched that, so I do agree on that part of it. Let's move on and preview this game for a couple minutes. You got Indiana coming in at 7-4 tonight against Portland. ESPN's BPI gives us a 58% chance of winning this game. I'm not sure if that means anything to you guys, but just point that out. Their leading scorer so far this season is Malcolm Brogdon, who's getting 22.5 points per game for them. He's also getting 7.5 assists per game, so he's kind of the guy that makes things work, so to say, for the Pacers. He is shooting, I just want to look up his shooting splits. He's shooting 45% from 3, so that's a phenomenal clip, given how, we drop the big a lot of times to give up a lot of threes. I could see him having a field day against us. That's kind of the one of the two guys we need to stop. And then, of course, you got Domantas Sabonis there, averaging 22 points per game, 12.5 rebounds, and 6 assists. Both those guys are playing 37. Actually, Domantas Sabonis is playing closer to 38 minutes per game. Brogdon's playing 37, so those guys are kind of being ran into the ground. They have that new coach there that's playing them a ton of minutes. So yeah, I mean, Sabonis is that's an interesting matchup for Nurkic. That's not even Nurkic's matchup because they're still starting Turner, so that's going to be Covington's matchup, which Covington I think can do a decent job on Sabonis. That's just a guy that'll give us fits. You got Miles Turner as their center, who's a 3-and-D stretch big. He is shooting only 31% on the season. But he's a guy that's shown throughout his career that he can knock down threes. So he'll be a guy that, it'll be tough because you got Sabonis on Covington, who is a little bit bigger than Covington, that might be able to take advantage of that. But then it's going to be hard for Nurkic to provide the help he normally would, because Nurkic's matchup is going to be Miles Turner, who he's going to have to go out on the three-point line against. Or the Blazers could put Covington on Turner and Nurkic on Sabonis. I don't know do you like that better? Like, how would you match up with those two guys?
Yeah, I'd probably put Nurk on Sabonis just because he posts up a little more, and he also he's not quick off the dribble. He can drive to the basket, but he's not going to overmatch him with speed. And I mean, he can still shoot the 3, so you still have to be out on him. I just think it would cause a little more matchup disadvantage if we had Covington getting posted up a lot by because we, like you said, you can't really have Nurk help off him with our rotations being poor. So yeah, I don't know. I might flip that, but Pacers have a lot of talent. I'm glad they don't have all their talent tonight.
Yeah, they're missing T.J. Warren and Karis LeVert because he just got traded. So
yeah,
they got shooters though. You got Justin Holiday shooting 42% this year. You got Doug McDermott shooting 38%. Sabonis has actually been shooting 38% as well on a little more than 2 attempts per game. So. That's kind of the next thing he can add to his game. But yeah, I would probably put Nurkic on Sabonis and Covington on Turner and see how that looks. I assume they're going to start Aaron Holiday. I assume they're going to start Malcolm Brogdon, Aaron Holiday, maybe Doug McDermott or Justin Holiday, and then Sabonis and Turner. Because Aaron Holiday has started 6 of the 11 games he's played for them, so I assume they're going to start him in the backcourt with Brogdon. I just don't know who they're going to start at the 3. It could be McDermott, it could be Justin Holiday. It's probably going to be one of those two guys. Justin Holiday might be the better fit just as a 3-and-D guy for them. And because he can defend, and you have some questionable defense in the starting lineup with Sabonis and Brogdon's solid, but he's not as good as he was defensively for Milwaukee. He was kind of more of a defense player for Milwaukee, and then you got Aaron Holiday there, who's I don't know. Do you consider Aaron Holiday a good defender? He's definitely nothing like either of his brothers, but
yeah, I think the jury's still out. It's kind of hard. He's played some, but not huge minutes to really get like a great feel for it.
Hmm.
He definitely, like you said, doesn't have that mentality. It seems like his brothers have on that end, but it's probably in there somewhere. It's just a matter of whether he does that or not.
Yep. Looking at their bench is likely going to be one of Justin Holiday or Doug McDermott. You're going to have T.J. McConnell off the bench, Jakar Sampson, and Edmund Sumner.
Yeah, their
So
bench is pretty weak with all these absences.
maybe you get some minutes from Cassius Stanley or Keelan Martin. Yeah, their bench is far less talented than ours, but I don't expect our bench to outplay theirs because we continue to roll out the Melo and Cantor pairing, so I expect a guy like Sumner to have 10, 12 points and get it going offensively, or TJ McConnell to become a scorer when he's definitely not one. So it'll be interesting to see the way the benches match up against each other and how our bench plays versus theirs. Our bench hasn't really done well against any benches, and it's funny because you look at our bench offensively and our numbers look great, but defensively we're giving up just as many points, if not more, than we're scoring bench wise. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see the bench matchup because we have more talent, but it probably won't function as well. But if our bench can outplay theirs, I really like our chances.
Like Jason Lee says, just put Melo on Sabonis. That'll solve it.
Melo on Sabonis. Um, yeah, no, no, that's scary. So I don't know. That we'll see how this game goes tonight. Blazers could win their fifth straight. I don't think we had a 5-game win streak at all last year, did we?
Uh, did we? No, I don't think we did in the bubble. I was gonna say we went 6-2 in the bubble. We lost our
Yeah,
second game and then like our fifth or sixth game, I think.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't think we did.
So it'd be nice. It'd be nice to get a 5-game win streak, especially since after this Pacers game, you got an extremely easy schedule for the Blazers. Because after this, man, you look at what they got coming up. They play Atlanta then on the 16th at home. This game is actually the start of a 7-game home trip. So all these games are at home. After Indiana, you got Atlanta, San Antonio, Memphis twice, New York, Oklahoma City. So like hypothetically, you take care of this game, this could turn into an 11-game win streak if they take care of business, because out of all those upcoming games, Portland is the better team, and Portland will be favored, and Portland will be at home.
Hmm.
So this is really the toughest game of this 7-game homestand, so it would really be nice to pull this one out if they can get it done tonight, because you could be looking at a team that is 14-4 at the end of this home trip if they win all these games. And honestly, I mean, Portland's favored tonight too. I think they're the better team than Indiana tonight. Obviously, they're probably going to drop one or two of these games, but realistically, 5-2 would be okay. I wouldn't be thrilled, but 5-2 would be okay on this homestand. It would put us at 12-6. I prefer 6-1 because you're talking about a lot of teams that are banged up. Memphis is banged up, Atlanta's banged up, Indiana's, Warren's out, and then they don't have LeVert yet. So they just traded Oladipo. So 6-1 is like optimistic. I would be very happy with 6-1. Put us at 13-5. That would be a great start to the season.
Yeah. And one more side note: the Pacers game on Saturday has already been canceled, so they will have several days off after this one. So I don't think they'll have problem playing players major minutes in this one either. So
I mean, they haven't had a problem playing players
right.
major minutes in general. So,
But they've almost had to. But yeah, it's get this game, and I feel really good about the next group of games at home. I feel like we should have the confidence to win most, if not all of them. And hopefully this is the start of a special run that really puts us in the driver's seat in terms of seeding in the West.
yeah, but gotta take things one game at a time. We'll see if we can get it done against the Pacers tonight. So anyway, we'll have we will have that post-game stream. Whoops, that's not supposed to be there. We will have that post-game stream tonight after the game, as always. Appreciate your support on those post-game streams. They've been a lot of fun. They'll be over on the main channel, of course. Thank you for tuning into Blazers Uprise Live. The real fans tune into Blazers Uprise Live, man. Or at least are subscribed over here. Been trying to reach 1,000 over here, so I appreciate you guys tuning in and supporting us and all that. Did I talk about Fentress? I tweeted about Fentress last night. It wasn't long-winded or anything. That was funny though. And it's on SportsCenter and stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Dame was kind of. I was surprised Dame even said anything.
What's funny is the Fentress back down all fake wise, oh no, I was just saying that you can. It's not without a doubt or whatever, but he went right back after the interview to being you guys are dumb. Westbrook and Beal are better than Dame and CJ, blah, blah, blah. They have 2 MVPs and a bunch of all-star games that CJ doesn't have. And so he just went right back to doing the same stuff. So
which is just the most casual way to break things down, because Russell Westbrook is not MVP Westbrook. Bro, that dude is not even close to being an MVP. Not even close. Dame is far closer. So if you're going to break things down based off an MVP award from 4 years ago and all-star appearances from a player in the East compared to a player in the West, that just certifies you as just a casual, man. This is just ridiculous. That's so dumb. But I wouldn't expect media to be better. You know what I mean? That is such a media breakdown. But just a casual media member breaking stuff down, man. That's ridiculous.
So I would have a lot more respect for Fentress today if he actually said what he was saying on Twitter to Dame when he questioned him. If he would have said, hey, look, Westbrook's the MVP in 2017. Him and Beal have been putting up good numbers. I think it's pretty comparable or whatever. But instead he was tonight? What? I was just saying. And then Dame just mean mugging him is awesome. But yeah,
I don't roll with Fentress.
So yeah, at least if you're gonna do go right after that interview and be the same way you were to get called out, at least say that, have the guts to say it to Dame's face. So I have no respect for people who make comments like that on Twitter, but then when they get called out on it are just completely wither and don't want to say anything. But yeah.
I mean, he's a Bulls fan, so I'm not surprised him trying to I don't know. He's impartial because he's a Bulls fan. In reality, he just doesn't. I don't know. Just breaking things down like that. I hate it when people in a media position talk down to others while breaking down the game like that, because it's a contradiction. It's you're trying to act all smart and then what you're saying is dumb. Don't break things down like that, man. An MVP award from 4 years ago and all-star appearances from a player in a completely different conference. Come on now. And if that backcourt was the best in the league, they would be able to win games together, but they literally can't even win games together. So I know they don't have a lot of talent around there, but I mean, they're what, 2-8? Yeah, come on now. Anyway, that's going to wrap things up. We'll catch you guys later tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see how we do picks against the spread wise. You got 3 games going on right now. We'll see if I can pass Eric. I probably will. But yeah, we'll see you later tonight in the post-game show, as always. So we're on a back-to-back too, man. It's draining too for us. It's probably more draining for us, back-to-back streams. You got 3 streams in 2 days. They don't have to play 3 games in 2 days, so yeah, we'll keep on the grind. We'll stay strong for you guys, and all that good stuff. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you tonight. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.